how do you look at the Web3 stuff, the kind of crypto, Bitcoin, just all of this stuff that I think people are very excited about right now? Given the experience that you have, like what are your takes on it?
I love it. So, I've been through, I'm 53. So I've been through kind of Web 1, 2, and 3. And there's always people that kind of don't understand, right? So I remember, I come from my first company was in the client server software world, right? Where you had a server and a client. And I remember cloud was coming out and ChannelAdvisor was a cloud-based company. And all these people from that old world were like, it'll never work. I'm going to put my data in the cloud. Oh, what happens when it rains? So there's always these naysayers and they're usually way more of them than believers in the next technology wave. So I guess I've conditioned myself to not believe that stuff. The Web3 stuff is really fascinating to me because it kind of ties into that Amazon discussion where when you have these decentralized things that can happen, that self-form, it's fascinating to me how that, the Constitution DAO, that was like a big eye opener to me. The first wave of it, I was kind of like, there's something here, but I don't see it, right? So there's all these marketplaces that tried to build a marketplace but on the blockchain. And it didn't really make any sense because it was worse than eBay and Amazon. And you're kind of like, okay, I see what you're trying to do there, but I don't see the benefit of this thing being out on the blockchain. And then we had a lot of those, I'll call them craft coins and that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like, this feels a little Ponzi-ish. I'm not really sure about that. But, NFTs are one of the first use cases. And I owe you a thanks on that. You and Jason, also known as Parabolic Guy, I guess, or whatever they call it, Parabolic Dude. You guys had sponsored that painting from Fuocious. And I was like, I really like this. And I got a little carried away on an auction and ended up buying it and thought I'd stretched myself thin there. And then I sold it for 5x 30 days later. So I owe you, Pomp. I need to send you a beautiful baby gift of some kind. I was like, this is really onto something. I collect comic book art. I don't know. I'll grab some there. So you guys know comic books. Well, there's actual art behind comic books.
Oh, that's amazing.
This is a page from a Spider-Man comic book. And, so I've been kind of in the art world, not like Van Goghs and stuff like that, but comic book art. And, what's cool about this world is you get the physical art, but what stinks is I don't know who owned this before me. And it's hard to know I happen to know this is the actual real one, but sometimes, in 10 years, I'll sell this and someone's going to, maybe this changes hands 20 times. Maybe someone creates a copy. So I love this idea of NFTs of, being able to know where it's been and look it up on the blockchain. And then I also what really stinks is this artist, he should get the benefit of this in my mind when I sell it. If I auction this off and it goes for twice what I sold, I would love for this artist to get part of that. But in the physical world, we don't have that. But the blockchain and NFTs, I really love that it solves some of these problems with physical art. And maybe we can even marry those things together. So NFTs was like the gateway for me where I clicked and I was like, all right, this is better than the existing thing. I can kind of finally see it. And then I've been then I've gone way down the rabbit hole.
All right, so you've got the NFT stuff, and I think that what's so fascinating is you were, maybe I'll say, cautiously optimistic in the beginning, right? You would see things, you'd be like, okay, I see what you're trying to do, but I don't think that's quite it. And then obviously when you saw the NFTs, that was where it kind of clicked for you. What do you think about Bitcoin or some of the other larger assets? So Ethereum, Solana, maybe the top 10 on a coin market cap. Do you pay attention at all to protocols layer one? Do you think Bitcoin and kind of the inflation conversation? How do you think about all that?
I do. I love it. So the thing that's magical to me about Bitcoin is how it aligns incentives. Like you guys, I see you guys talk about some of the government policies, and the people that must create government policies must have never had an employee, done a sales comp plan. They don't understand incentives. They're like, oh, we're going to put all these people here and they're going to be happy and live together. And then they're shocked when it doesn't work out that way. So what I love about, the Bitcoin and then the subsequent coins is how they really think through the incentives and what's going to happen as the scarcity kicks in, and that kind of thing, because it also ties into my hobby of economics, right? So that's interesting. I will say Bitcoin didn't 100% click for me until I read Jason's book. The
Bitcoin you can't screw with.
Yeah, money. Hard money you can't bleep with. And that one, that one kind of really resonated with me. So in my mind, I kind of think of that as a currency / store value, that Bitcoin specifically. And right now, I recommend people, with inflation running kind of rampant, that's a really good hedge. So I kind of think of it as an asset allocation, and I've never been a gold investor. So to me, and I've heard you guys talk about this, it replaces gold as that kind of a thing. And then Ethereum is where most of the NFTs live. So that's really been more of where, and I love this idea as a comp sci guy, that the contract is kind of baked in there, right? And that's pretty fascinating that you can have, now you can effectively have this currency and way of buying things where a little contract is baked in there and that can do different things. And even programmatically change the digital asset as you go. So that's pretty fascinating. And then, so those are the two I've spent the most time on, and some of the Solana and that stuff. So the proof of work and those things, I don't 100% understand the environmental argument, because to me, like if I order a product from Amazon, there's no way to know, but I bet you burn more CO2 than if you did a Bitcoin transaction. Like if I ordered, these AirPods or something. So I think that's just kind of like a false narrative. I don't 100% buy into that. That whole thing about, Bitcoin burns so much CO2. I just am not a huge believer in that, because we use all this, when I log an opportunity in Salesforce, how much CO2 did I burn? I just can't, as an e-commerce guy, I just kind of don't think that transaction can possibly be as hard, as heavy as like buying a widget off eBay or something. But I haven't done a ton of research on that. You guys know more about that than I do. But I do like these new models where, they have different approaches, and in an open marketplace, let the best one win. There should be a wide variety of these things with features and functionality, and we see who wins.